Okay, I've been looking forward to this one. It's so funny how conversations circle back around when they're ready to. Like, this feels right on time.
Now you here.
Look, I know. And you on the show too.
Right. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like you just don't know how excited I am for this moment, not just to be on your podcast, but actually see you go through the process of doing what you say you had already visioned. You had already had the equipment and all of that. You was just waiting on your green light, like your time to just go and have at it. So I'm very excited for you, and I can't wait to see how far it go.
I remember I think it was maybe like a year ago probably, and we were sitting in that little corner office and
Mm-hmm.
told you that I wanted to start like a podcast, really just start doing stuff that I said, I had on my mind to do.
Yes.
But even then, like I realized that I was kind of stuck between processing and like gathering information and
Mm-hmm.
putting together and procrastinating. Like literally trying to like think myself out of it. Like, and I was really thinking that
Ooh.
I was thinking through it, like, okay, let me make sure that this makes sense and this and that and that. But like I was really thinking myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Thinking of all the possibilities of why you shouldn't do it
yeah.
rather than just go for it.
Yeah. And I remember it was something you had said, like, it was probably like weeks later, maybe like a month or two after. And you just asked me, like, did you start your podcast yet?
I remember. Yes, I remember that. Yes. And you like, no, not yet.
Yeah, just making excuses.
Mm-hmm.
But even just being held accountable in the most simplest way, really like I think for me really pushed me forward to get things going because it was like, girl, what you waiting on?
Right.
What are you really waiting on?
I can't wait for the visuals.
And not you calling me out for the visual.
No,
Yeah, listen.
I'm so serious. Like I it's gonna be it's already good. So I can only imagine what it's gonna be.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
You're
Why,
welcome.
look, you got to teach me because you got a whole YouTube channel and
Yes.
everything. So you
Yes.
already putting yourself out there visually anyway. I'm like, okay, I can do the voice thing, but being on camera, I just feel like I'm gonna just start acting real goofy. And I don't know, but we gonna get there.
Yes.
We gonna get there. But I wanted to ask you, like, and not just with YouTube, but just in general, like, at what point do you feel like when you have an idea or a thought or something, when does processing become procrastination?
I think to be honest with you, it's almost like immediately once a thought get into my mind about something, wanting to do something, I get into the habit of procrastinating. I don't know what it is, but I was thinking about like some of the things that I've tried or thought to do before, and always wondered like what is the pattern that leaves me stuck in not wanting to take that next step. And honestly, Tiffany, I just think that it's just my lack of faith, and due to my lack of faith, that's where I procrastinate over and over. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna start it this year, but maybe next year. Or I write down different plans and different ideas. I even talk with, close family members about it. And they're like, well, why won't you get started? And she's like, I don't know, but what if this, what if that? And then I just continue on in this cycle of just procrastinating on and on about the what ifs. So I think pretty much it's just me getting out of my head.
So do you feel like those stuck points are things that you've like experienced in the past where you've put something out or had an idea for something and it didn't like go as planned? Or do you feel like it's just stuff that you've never even experienced? You just made up, you know what I mean? Like you just
Hmm.
make up scenarios
No,
in your mind.
I think it's the latter part of me just never having the experience prior to the thought that come to my mind. Because anytime I put out an idea, I'm always getting the positive feedback. But when you move in a space of comfortability, you're used to like your routine, the experiences that you already have. So just with the limited experience alone, I just feel like that's where I'm stuck at. Like, well, I don't have prior experience. Think about it, when you go on a job interview, they want you to have prior experience, but I gotta have the job first so that I can get some experience. And sometimes I just feel like, well, because I don't have the experience, I may not have all the knowledge. If I move forward in this next step, how am I going to succeed? So I'm always thinking about the end result rather than just focusing on the process of it.
You mentioned like having that comfortability. Did I say it
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Comfortability.
Yes. Comfortability.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like having like a set routine. So anything outside of that
It
is
throws me off.
yeah, it throws you off. So how would you describe that comfort? Like how would you describe your comfort zone? Like what does it look like? What does it feel like?
I would say my comfort zone, it looks like just having a plan. You know how you can write a to-do list, like
Hmm.
today I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this followed by this. So I feel like when I have something in my head of what I want to do, I have to I have to like think it out like fully, a whole to-do list and things like that. So if one of those items on my to-do list I just feel like I'm stuck at or I'm struggling with, it's like throw the whole to-do list away. But I don't know, I've just always been one that is comfortable in my routine. And I realize sometimes if my routine is off, it shifts my whole mood for the day. Sometimes being off my routine, I need that, but most of the time I need to know what it is that I'm expecting, moving forward. So it's just me being a well thought out planner. I don't know. I really don't know how to put it into words besides that.
You mentioned you think things through. You like
Hmm.
to, you're a planner. Like you like to know the details, the
Yes.
expectations, what's gonna come with it, what things can go wrong. Like, do you ever feel like having that much detail to planning ever slows you down or prevents you from taking
Oh,
that next
absolutely.
step?
Absolutely. And sometimes I just have to say out loud to myself, like, Kadisha, just stop thinking. Just stop thinking about it and just do it. A lot of the times that is my biggest hindrance. Just thinking about all the details, all the possibilities that can go wrong, the sacrifice that it may take, whether it's my time, whether it's my energy, whether it's me putting myself out there more to where it's like, do I really want to do that? So it definitely can be a hindrance. But sometimes I look at it in a way of I'm scared, but
Mm.
let's move forward. Back in like maybe towards the ending of 2024, I was, I was in the classroom. I had been in the classroom for 8 years at my job. And I started to grow uncomfortable being comfortable in that space that I was in. So it got to a point where, like, physically, I started to not feel well, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. But for me, it's like, being a teacher, that's all I knew. Like, all I know how to do is be with little children. Like, and it took for me to feel as though if I did not move out of my comfort zone, either I was just going to say, forget it and be without a job, or, just stay stuck and be miserable. So at that moment, it took me to say, you know what? I'm going to take a leap of faith and I'm going to move out of my comfort zone and see what else is out there. And then a year later, I applied to be promoted into a new position. And then, of course, now I'm in that position. So that's just a example of how sometimes my comfort zone hinder me from moving over to the next step.
I feel like I'm kind of there now where
Mhm.
I don't feel like, well, I'm lying. I do feel stuck in a way, but
Mhm.
it's like I feel like I can move. So that's why like using the term stuck is like it's not real accurate for me in this moment.
Mhm.
But like I do feel like I'm almost afraid to see what else is out there. Cause like you mentioned, once you've been in a particular industry for so long,
Yes.
it's easy. It's
Mhm.
natural for you to wake up, do the same thing you've been doing, you
Mhm.
know. And so I feel like I'm there now where it's like, okay, Tiffany, what we doing? Like,
Right.
you got to come out of that. Like, we know you can do that. You can do that with your eyes closed, but now it's time to open your eyes and see what else
Mhm.
is out there. But I think there is some fear. There is some fear,
Mhm.
but I'm also like fearful of what's gonna happen if I don't move. You know what I mean? Like if I
Right.
don't take that step. So like for you, what do you think what would have happened if you wouldn't have took that step?
You know what? To be honest with you, I was on the verge of either, and you know me on a professional level.
Hmm.
I probably would have been on the verge of a breaking point, Tiffany, to where I would have lost my job, just given the situation that I was in, in that school year. Or, I just would have quit I would have moved off of emotion and not had a backup plan
Mm,
and just quit and then probably soak in it like, was this the right decision? And a lot of times I'm thinking about everybody else around me and not what Kadisha wants, not what Kadisha needs. And I think that's part of the reason too as to why I be so stuck in my comfort zone, because part of that routine, part of that security, part of my norm is being there for everybody else. It got to a point to where it's like, Kadisha, if you don't move, then like what, at least what's the worst that can happen, especially given what I wanted to step into.
hmm.
But aside from that, it's like, Kadisha, you wake up, you are on the verge of waking up every day crying because your alarm going off and you have to go into step into this classroom. You bring this work home with you. You not want to eat. Like it got to that point to where it's just like I'm stressed out. But like you said, when you are in a field or whatever you're doing and you've been doing it for so long, it comes so natural. It was so natural for me, and it's still so natural for me. It's just, I just got tired of doing the same thing over and over. I wanted to be stretched, I needed to be
Mm.
stretched. And I got tired of just, staying in that same spot. And I'm like, God, stretch me. But you got to be careful when you ask God to do something because He's going to do it. And it's not going to feel pretty. It's not going to feel nice. It's not going to feel good. And sometimes we just have to roll with it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely I do because I think that you do have to just roll with it because as you mentioned, like if if you're being pushed out of your comfort zone after you done already stayed too long anyway, and that's why,
Mm-hmm.
we get to a point where, like you mentioned, a breaking point, like you waking up crying every day, stressed out, just you literally physically cannot take it anymore, but you just stay there. And it's like, how
Mm-hmm.
much more do you have to endure to make a change?
Right.
And yeah, and sometimes just rolling with it is for the best because like you mentioned, you don't know what would have happened had you stayed. Like,
Yeah.
it probably would have went all bad,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you just have to take that step and for really just roll with it because if
Yeah.
not, like, yeah. And then I also think that staying in places that no longer serves you is
Mhm.
it's a disservice to you. And like you
Yeah.
mentioned, like your growth and not being stretched to your fullest potential. Like I
Hmm.
always think of when you were talking, I was thinking of, girl, I'm so childish. I was thinking of like shoes. Like, you may have this cute pair of shoes
Yes.
that, girl, them your ones. Like you put them on with every little thing. But that big toe
Pinky
is
toe,
like
big toe.
cannot fit. You can't fit them shoes no more. Like, give it up.
Yeah.
Go on out, look for a new pair. It may because
Hmm.
you probably ain't gonna find them same exact ones. The comfort they once brought you,
Right.
like they don't fit no
No,
more.
for real, because I got a pair of pants like that. So like, they good, they hug you in all the right places. But once you zip that zipper and it start rolling over, it's like, yeah, it's time to it's time to get rid of these. It's time. It's time, Kadisha. It's time.
Throw them jeans
Yes,
away.
yes, yes.
That's so funny that you mentioned that because again, talking about comfort zones, like even just when I think about clothing, like I recently like went through all of my clothes
Mm-hmm.
and like it was like, girl, if you can't fit them, you can't fit them.
Right.
I would literally hold on to stuff like, oh, I'm gonna be able to get back into this one day. I'm gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
squeeze back into this.
Yes.
Like, girl, throw them away. And it's
Right.
not even about me not being consistent with like releasing weight and stuff like that. It's just like they don't fit right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yes.
Throw them away. Like you don't have to just hold on to something so
Mm-hmm.
tight because you think that more is not gonna come. That's what my comfort zone looked like. Like it was out of survival and out of fear that I
Yes.
wouldn't be blessed with more. So it was
Mm,
like I gotta hold on to this right here, right now, because this is what it looked like, this is what I got. And I don't
yeah.
know if more is gonna come after this. So I gotta just hold on tight to this, even though it don't fit, even though it hurts, even though I'm crying, even though I don't want to be here. I gotta hold on to this. And for me, that's what waking up and really realizing that I was in that survival space is
Mm-hmm.
what propelled me to walk away from my previous job. Because
Yes.
I was like holding on so tight
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't think that new doors were open for me. Like I just didn't believe it. And like you mentioned early on, like just having that lack of faith, like if God brought you here this far, like why are you limiting what God is capable of doing for you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, girl, let go and trust that like you pray for abundance. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that mindset, or yeah, you will get stuck and be in them two little pants and two little.
Right. We can say all day, girl, I'm just keeping the faith. But
Mm,
sometimes I have to ask myself, like, are you really keeping the faith? Do you really have the faith that you say that you have? Because like you said, if we say we have faith, why are we holding on or staying stuck in places that we feel like there's nothing better out there? Or that you can't do what the next person is doing. And I know a lot of times I feel like society plays a big part too. Society got
yeah.
almost any and everything to say about what people should and shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
You're sitting up here with a podcast, but everybody's podcast is not Tiffany's podcast.
Right. No.
Everybody's YouTube channel is not, my YouTube channel. We all are, the good thing, the beautiful thing about God's people is He made us all unique and in His image. And a lot of times, for me, being in my comfort zone and knowing all of these gifts and talents that God has blessed me with, and I'm sitting on them, it just sometimes it blows me, and I'm just sitting here and I just got chills going down my body.
Mm,
Like, Kadisha, like, just move, because at the end of the day, God got your back. Whether you want to start something new, whether you just want to, move into a new space, a new scenery, step out of your comfort zone, take that risk And for me, I just know that I've been stuck for a long time because of that fear of not wanting to take risks. And I'm not talking about crazy risks, but risks that are reasonable. But in my head, I'm just like, well, what if that don't go right? Like,
Mm.
and it's time for me to stop asking what ifs.
What do you feel like your comfort zone is actually protecting you from?
I feel like my comfort zone is really protecting me from outside noise, outside opinions for a long time. And I'm still working on it to this day. For a long time, Tiffany, I have been a people pleaser. And I know for me, sometimes, again, going back to the routines and just that security of knowing, your day to day, the people, within those comfort zones, sometimes thinking outside of that comfort zone, I know that it will cost me of just, stepping away from pleasing people and people benefiting from me being stuck in my comfort zone. So
Yeah.
I think for me, just outside noise, outside opinions, is the biggest thing for me.
My comfort zone is protecting, I think it's protecting me from failure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe at some point in my life where I attempted to do something and it didn't go well. And so that kind of just like put me in my little shell, like, we ain't coming back out. Like, we gotta figure this thing
Mm-hmm.
out before we just get out here failing and falling over stuff. Like, wait a minute. But I will honestly say that now at this age, that has definitely changed, but I do find myself sometimes still having those thoughts of like, oh girl, I don't know if what's gonna happen. Like if you put this out there, what if don't nobody show up? What if don't nobody listen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you still gonna go through with it?
Right.
But I think now that's, it's changing. And that is something that I'm definitely still working on because I have a lot of stuff that I do want to do. And that sometimes, like you mentioned, not having like prior experience per se
Mm-hmm.
with doing a particular thing, it is kind of scary. And I know for the both of us, because we are educators, it's like we learn, we teach, teach, teach. So we
Mm-hmm.
understand that the importance of like learning, learning, learning before
Right.
you're able to master a particular skill. But I'm slowly coming out of that. Definitely slowly coming out of that.
And you know what? I have to say this, just listening to what you said as far as just feeling, sometimes feel scared of failing. Like that resonate with me a lot. But you just don't know. Like there's so many people doing similar things, but getting to know you over the course of just working together and sitting in that little closet space, like seeing you now and getting a better understanding of who Tiffany is outside of the professional realm.
Hmm.
I feel like you have even helped me want to move out of my comfort zone. God brings people into your life, or you may can read something or hear something and be like, you know what, that's God's confirmation that I can do whatever it is that I set my mind to. And just you having this platform to be able to bring people onto your space and be able to talk about things, it has really helped me with wanting to get to that next step and actually not worry about or be fearful of failing and just take the next step, no matter how many people are behind me, but just move forward because it's what I want to do. So I thank you for just being that for me as well.
Who, girl? Okay.
No, like seriously.
Wow. I appreciate that. And I
Well,
I definitely receive that. even to just think that I was sitting on
Mm-hmm.
this idea, these conversations and everything. Whew, hold
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
Even just to think that like I was sitting on this and it's like, girl, people need that. The
Yes.
women need that. The
Yes.
girls need breakfast with Tiffany. Like, and I appreciate you so much and the other
Mm-hmm.
people I've had on the show and other people that will, will be on the show because I value you guys' ideas, your thoughts,
Right.
the type of women that you are, because y'all inspire me to, to keep doing this and to
Mm-hmm.
continue to come out my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I feel like I meet so many great women and have these authentic and genuine and heartfelt conversations. And I'm like, no, people need to hear this. Like,
Right.
like I think other women will benefit so much from hearing this because like
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, like society will just put all types of stuff out there and have all different types of stuff in your head, have
Mm-hmm.
you thinking one way. And it's like, no, there are still good people out there, people with good hearts
Yep.
that mean well. And
Yep.
yeah, it's time for us to speak up and come up out our comfort zones because people need
Mm-hmm.
to see us on YouTube
No, for real.
and hear
Yes.
our podcast and to show up to our events that we host because it's still good people out in the world. So
Yes.
thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Sometimes we hold on to spaces that feel safe long after they stop serving us. Comfort zones. They protect us from the unknown, from risk, from failure, from negative people. But they can also quietly keep us from the life that's waiting just beyond the edge. We all have routines, to-do lists, rhythms we rely on. And when those plans get shaken, it reminds us how fragile our sense of control really is. And maybe the hardest part, letting go of what no longer serves us, trusting that more is waiting if we release it.